I got a Tandy 1000. Yeah, but it's no cocoa. Ooh.
The Tandy RLX, blazing fast 10 megahertz microprocessor. 10 megahertz, woohoo! Pretty good for gaming. A lot of good games out there, but I just had a question. Are these upgradable? Usually people say no, but over the last couple months I did some experiments, and you can get a little bit of speed out of these. Not much, but a little bit. I've gotten, depending on the model you get, and I'll talk about it later, some models you can get them to kick up to 12 megahertz or 12.5 megahertz, and some models you can get all the way up to 15 megahertz, and I haven't had any success pushing them any faster than that. But for this one I just wanted to have a little fun, maybe try to blow something up. I got a bunch of these RLXs that I've purchased over the years or had them in storage. I am going to sell them. I'm going to upgrade 5 of them and put them on eBay with much faster processor speeds than originally built. I know a little bit about soldering and things of that nature, so I can desolder microprocessors and put new ones on, sockets, you name it. But at any rate, I wanted to have a little fun tonight and overclock a Tandy 1000 RLX. And I'm going to see what happens to the processor. All right. I'll go into greater detail on some of this stuff later and how this was done. But a Tandy 1000 RLX is just a standard computer like any other computer. You got your RAM chips here. Got your microprocessors. It's a 286. This is a Siemens processor. I have an AMD laying around somewhere I'll have to dig up. And then here is your clock crystal. What I've done already is I've installed a socket in this, and I've run a bunch of different processors, and I'll describe in the video later which ones I find work best in these machines. But this is just this is a 10 megahertz 286 from Siemens. I'll have to dig up the AMD version, but I'm sure they're pretty similar. And then what we have here, this is your standard 40 megahertz crystal, and the secret is to install one of these guys. Just desolder that, pull out the old crystal, and then it makes your clock speeds interchangeable, and you're going to ramp this up, this crystal speed, and changes the speed of your processor. So if I boot this bugger up, just to show you I'm not cheating. There you go. Just running off the hard drive. And DeskMate comes up. Like I said, that is a 10 megahertz, running at 10 right now. So I'm really not going to get into running a bench on this one. I mean, I could, but what's the point, right? Just running it, the chip's warm. The AMDs run cooler, but the Siemens do run a little warm, and it's just warm to the touch, just having it on for a few seconds. Not hot, just it's pretty warm. So what I'm going to do here is shut this bugger down, and we're going to replace the crystal. I got some fun crystal sets here. This is a 10 megahertz computer, so think of times 10. Just like if you had a 33 megahertz, you got to think in terms of the times 33 or times 3 scale. So what these computers generally run on is standard CMOS, not in CMOS in factors of 10. And here I have a 60, and here I have a 50. So divide by 50, this is like 12.5 megahertz, and because you can divide by 4, so 40 megahertz gives you 10 on your processor. I guess there's 4 clock cycles for every cycle. I don't know, but So we're going to put the 50 and overclock this 10 megahertz 286. Oh no! I'm going to put my finger on that just to make sure that processor's not getting too hot. You can see it's booting up. And we're running at 12.5 megahertz. I'm gonna go ahead and run the benchmark disk just to show you here that I keep checking it, because that's something, you know, when you start overdriving microprocessors, they're going to get a little warmer. It's actually no warmer than 10 was. So let's just get let's escape here. Where's my mouse? Oh no! I think I plugged in the keyboard and mouse backwards. I'll have to check that. I'll pause it and check. Alright, I did have the keyboard and mouse cables mixed up. Ah, don't you hate when that happens? So, go ahead and reboot this bugger. Again, I'm running the 50 megahertz chip, which means this thing should be running about 12 and a half. This is 50 divided by 4. Oh, I left my disk in there. Let's reboot that again. There we go. Alright, we're gonna exit here. Firm exit. Out of disk mate. Again, I still keep putting my finger on that process just to make sure. Yep, disk in. Pop. Let's get a directory on there. Alright, I'm using Check It. And that'll give us just a confirmation that I'm not like pulling wool over your eyes or anything. Just to kind of show you what we got here. As far as processor speed, that's probably the quickest way I can check. But 12.5 megahertz. The A drive's still slow though. Alright, press any key to continue. It's just kind of showing like everything in this computer is still running. Now let's do a main system check. Working. And you know, I'm not too interested in, we'll get into this benchmark stuff later. It'll be a little bit higher than your 10 obviously. But if you've seen these before, there's our results. But the big important thing is right here. We are running an 8286 at 12.51 megahertz. Woot woot! This is gonna make your games insanely fast. Not really, but maybe just a little bit. I put my finger on that processor. It's still reasonable. I mean, I don't even know if I put a heatsink on that. It's not really getting extremely hot like I thought maybe it would. So I'm surprised. It's holding up. You want to try to bump it up to 15 and see what happens? I think so. Let's do it. Alright, let's power this thing down. So let's grab a crystal. Take out the old one. Dun, dun, dun. We're going to go up to a 60. Get the light on that. A 60 megahertz CMOS crystal. And you got to plug it right in there. Actually, you can hot swap these things. Hint, hint, but don't. I've done it. Didn't blow up the board, but if you blow up your board trying this, and say, you prick, you told me to hot swap that. But all right, I don't know what's going to happen because this is 50% faster at the 15 megahertz range. So let's see if it blows up. Don't blow up. Don't blow up. Just put my thumb on there. Oh, she's booting up. We are overdriving this 10 megahertz processor to 15 megahertz. And it is holding up. All right. Oh, I left the disc in again. Dang it. For a second there, I got worried. Okay, let's see what happens. It'll probably boot up faster, right? Look at that, like a rocket ship. Oh my gosh, it almost ripped a hole in a dimension, and the whole world could have been lost. All right, and I'll put my finger on that to see where we're at. A little warm, not too bad. D-I-R. Oops. Put this in. D-I-R. What was that called? Check it. Check it. Reading. I'm going to check the heat on that processor. Not too bad. It's warm. Is it a key to continue? Benchmark main system. It's ludicrous speed. There's the number we're looking at. 15.1 megahertz on a Tandy RLX. Oh my goodness. 10.7 times faster than an IBM PCXT. We'll look at these performance things later at some point, but just for now, I just wanted to show that you could actually do it. And the computer's, the processor is alive. You know, I can't, as far as heat or anything like that, it seems all right. It's actually getting warmer, but it's not like it's going to catch on fire. But it is a lot warmer than it was before. So if you dare attempt this on your vintage Tandy machine, I would say put a heatsink on it. Probably not a fan heatsink, but maybe one that you could stick on there with an adhesive, and just maybe a little aluminum one, probably a 386 processor style aluminum won't work, but yeah, probably a heatsink on that. And I think this computer might actually be stable running at 15.1 megahertz. I'm going to test the theory if it's hot swappable. See if it blows up. Are you ready? I'm going to pull this out. Ooh. Now typically when you're running a program, when you pull that out, the program will just freeze. So I'm going to put the 50 back in. Let's see if it blows up. You guys will have a big laugh. Let's put the 15 in there. And oh, it blew up. And it's just rebooting. So no end of the world. Like I said, this is my experimental RLX. It's taken a beating, this circuit board. Like I said, not all RLXs can be taken up to 15 megahertz. I'll kind of get more in depth on that, but I just wanted to see if it was possible to overdrive this, and check out my later videos when I go into in-depth on what models and how fast you can run these processors. But at 15 megahertz, that's a 50% processor speed upgrade on this, and you will notice the difference in performance. I run Windows 3.0 on this, runs great. I run DeskMate at the same time. This isn't my main computer. This is my experimental. My other computer, I have a solid state drive and all these little cold things, but and I also been running a different processor than just overdriving what's in there. So you know, something more appropriate to that speed level, but it appears like you can do it. That's kind of cool. But tune in a couple weeks. I'll have another video out a little bit more in depth on this. I just was just curious if you could do it, and hey, yes, you can. Well, have a good night.